Hello, happy Sunday, class. It is March 17th, and today is the day that your method section is due. I hope that you guys have really gotten clear on what your procedures are going to be when you begin to collect your data these next 2 weeks for weeks 8 and 9. I hope that you guys are excited to get started on actually conducting your own very own study. I hope that you have an idea of who your participants are going to be, how you're going to get them, the procedures. I hope that you have written your survey or interview questions that will answer your research question. I hope that you guys have gotten all that together. If you haven't, do not fret. If you need to take a few extra days to get that done, that's fine. You need at least a week to collect your data. Sometimes you need two, which is why I'm giving you two, because some of you have to set up interviews. Some of you have to go into schools and get permission from principals, and it's so many different things that you might have to do. So I'm really encouraging you guys to get on it if you haven't gotten on it. Just please make sure that your method section is complete, that you are very detailed in how you're going to go about doing things. Do you need to recruit participants? If you do, you might need to send an email out. You might need to I don't know, put up flyers, or you might need to get permission from the principal if you're doing something in the school, so that you can take some class time to do an observation in the classroom. Really, I hope that you guys have really been thinking about these things as you have been writing your method section the last few weeks. So just be ready. Now, when you are ready to collect your data, please make sure that you are prepared. If you have to go and to someone's home, or if someone is meeting you in a confidential location, like, I don't know, a room in the library or a classroom or somewhere where you can speak quietly amongst one another, where there's no distractions and no chance of someone coming in, you need to make sure that your location is confidential, because this is confidential. You don't want people to hear about your research, because that will be a breach, and that would probably make your participant uncomfortable, which would be a big limitation to your study. So please make sure that you are prepared and you know where you're going to meet your person once you recruit your participants that are going to be in your study. Before you even bother to interview that person, make sure that they meet your criteria. If you are going to be doing a study on women ages 20 to 25, there's no need to interview a man who's age 50. So just make sure that your participants are who you want them to be. Even with your online survey, you need to make sure that you insert some screening questions. So that would be the demographic. So, and also in your instructions, say this survey, your email that you send out when you send out your survey to the listserv, make sure that you say this survey is only for women ages 20 to 25, or whoever it is. That way men won't answer it, even if they get the email, because you're sending it out to lots and lots of students. You don't know who they are. So you need to make sure your instructions in your email say, this is who I want to answer this survey. So you don't get 100 surveys of people that you can't even use to analyze. So be very, very clear, be very specific on who you need to have answer your survey, who you need to interview. If you're doing content analysis, make sure that you have all of your documents ready to go, and that you're ready to highlight and find out all of the different themes that you are trying to analyze. Just make sure that you have everything together and that you're ready. Make sure that you have your instruments. So if you're doing an interview, make sure you have your tape recorder or whatever you're using to record. If you are going to someone's house, make sure you have their directions to get there. Someone, I think, is going to do Skype, and that's perfectly okay too. If you need to do Skype, or I don't know, maybe FaceTime even, to do your interview, make sure that you're doing it in a quiet location, and tell them to make sure that they're in a quiet location where you cannot be interrupted, because interruptions are limitations to your study. Now, limitations are okay as long as when you talk about what happened in your study in the last section of your paper, the discussion section, that you say, a limitation of my study is that one of my interviews was interrupted, and this is how, and this could have distracted my participant, and maybe they weren't able to answer the question fully. So you just need to make sure anything that happens, any glitch that happens, that you write about it. I had one student who actually, I think she's already conducted her survey, online, and one of her questions got thrown out. Oops. I think it was the age. And I said, well, you can run it again, or you can just say in your discussion, well, this happened. So you have to let people know what really happened in your study once you finish conducting it, and that's perfectly okay. Remember, your method section right now should be in future tense, okay? Meaning that this is what you plan to do. Once you conduct your study, then you go back to your method section and write what actually happened. Hopefully it happened just like you said it was going to happen, but instead of saying the researcher will interview 3 to 5 participants. Well, now that you have conducted your study, you know how many people that you have actually interviewed. So the researcher interviewed 3 participants for this study. So it's past tense and it's very specific. Okay, so you go back and you make it what really happened, and you make it in the past tense before you turn the final in, because if I get a paper that is not corrected with the method, you will get points taken off, unfortunately. So make sure you get your work done. Okay, so be prepared, be ready, make sure you have permission to do what you're doing. Those of you who are doing the survey, make sure that you have inserted the implied consent form to your survey, so that when the person reads it, that's their consent that they're going to actually answer your survey. Those of you who are doing face-to-face, please make sure you take your consent form to your interviewee and that they sign it before you start. Make sure that your recorder is turned up so you don't miss the interview, because you have to transcribe it if you're doing interviews. Make sure you're dressed neatly. If you're seeing people face to face, make sure that you are friendly. Make sure that you are professional, because that will make the person comfortable and they will answer your questions to the best of their ability. Reassure them, make them feel comfortable. Do a little small talk before you even start. Those are some very simple tips that you can do to get the best interview out of your interviewee. And for the survey, make sure that your questions that you write are Likert type A, B, C, D, and that they are there so they can really give you an answer to your research question. I really advise against open-ended online survey questions. Otherwise, then you should be doing a qualitative. Make it easy, because once you collect your surveys, then you're going to have to run the statistics on them. I encourage everyone to do descriptive statistics because it's easy. If you want to do something more complicated, that's fine, but you need to know how to do that. I have posted several examples of how to analyze quantitative data. Do what you're comfortable doing. It doesn't have to be, really fancy. It doesn't have to be very extensive. It just needs to answer your question. Keep it simple, everybody. KISS, right? Keep it simple, please, because this is all about the process. This is all about, you learning how to do something new. Like, wow, I actually conducted a study. It doesn't have to be complicated. So please keep all of those tips in mind when you go out or go online or do your analysis of your papers that you're analyzing or your videos that you're analyzing. I think I'm missing, observation. If you go in the classroom or go into a room full of people and you are observing how they're behaving, make sure that you are there on time. Make sure that you have your notebook and pen, or if you're trying to be a participant, you have to be kind of discreet about it. So you might have to take breaks and write notes and then go back in as a participant if you're doing a participant observer versus a non-participant observer. So there's a lot of things that you need to think about before you go in and do these things. If you make mistakes, that is okay, as long as you write about them in your discussion section under limitations. Because you're going to make mistakes. That's what it is. I just don't want you to do any harm to anyone. Don't be rude to people. Please attend to your participants if you're doing something live. Make them feel comfortable. Let them know that you appreciate them. Thank them for doing your survey. Even your online people, say thank you for doing my survey at the end of your email, because that's just good manners. So I really hope this video has helped you guys prep and pumped up. This is your pump up video to go out there and do your survey, do your interview, go do your analysis, go do your observation, get ready, be excited. This is your research, okay? And what happens, happens. As long as you write it up and say, this is what happened, then you've done it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want you guys to do your best. So if you are behind, do not fret. You know, I built in an extra week for you at the end, but please get caught up as soon as possible, okay? Please do not wait until week 13 to try to collect your data, but don't do it. Like, if you're having trouble now, you need to let me know, please, okay? A lot of you are on it. A lot of you, from what I've seen, are on track, but some of you are a little behind, and I've talked to some of you guys, and that's great, and I know you guys are going to do it. Some of you I haven't heard from. So if I haven't heard from you, I think I need to hear from you, okay? So I'm really looking forward to seeing how everybody's study turns out. The next section that you need to be looking for is the results. Oh my gosh, how do I analyze this stuff? Okay, I've posted some things already. I'll be doing a few videos on it too to help you, walk you through it. And I've posted some really good YouTube videos that I found helpful when trying to understand these things myself over the years. So just use all the resources that I've posted. There's a lot of things. Some don't relate to your study, some do. Just pull up what you think is going to work for you, that's going to be helpful to you, okay? All right, I guess that's it. I hope that's it. If not, I'll post another video or I'll post an announcement. But I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I hope you're finishing up your methods. And go out and collect with confidence. Bye.